Alrighty guys, let's take a look at in this video how are our memory stocks, our chip stocks, our AI stocks doing. Are we still good to continue to hold them in the bullish direction after and before when I already told you where the bottom would be, and precisely from there we have been bouncing straight up. Let's take a look at in this video Micron, Sandisk, SK Hynix, Seagate, Nvidia. We also had AMD's earnings yesterday, how that is doing after the earnings, collapsing a little bit, but how I'm reading it, we'll take a look at that. ARM, Intel, Broadcom, Marvell, Cerebrus, and we will also take a look at DSM. All right, so now with that, I want to let you know none of this is any financial advice, only for education purposes, just sharing my opinion. Please do your own thing. So let's start off with Micron. So I told you this was the zone, fear not until here, right? So let's fast forward. Like, yes, everything worked out as how I said. It even worked out when I told you get out, break off the structure, break off the price action. And I told you where the bottom is, buy now, right? And if you want to follow along all these calls that I make on many other stocks for my members, you can join my memberships in the description of this video. And if you happen to join Trading Tools Plus Stocks coverage, you will also get DRAM portfolio access for free, and we are already in the money. DRAM price can go down, but we'll still be in profit. That's how the strategies are built. All the details are in the description of this video. Now, so Micron continues to remain in the strengthful structure. I don't see how right now we would have a new low. This was the bottom, and the confirmation was also above 835, right? Like, as I already told you guys, yes, we are forming stages of bottom here. I don't see any inclination of further downside. That still remains the case, and Micron remains in the bullish structure. This was a confirmation of a pullback hold, and then thereafter this was a confirmation of overall strength came back in at 830 above. And you can see today also a really good candle and a push to the upside, and Micron will continue to remain bullish from here as long as we stay above 830 and 770. Those are still two partial zones, or well, two trailing zones. You will have to manage risk below that. Above that, all good on the Micron side as well. And definitely at this point, Micron has a room to test highs again, actually. Slowly and slowly, it's not going to happen in a day, but above 830 with the bottom confirmation, yes, that's the direction it remains for us. Again, nothing is guaranteed. Below 830, you will definitely do your risk management. All right, so let's get to Sandisk. We are putting our chips where the higher probabilities are, guys, and I'm already telling you ahead of time how the price action is going to do. All right, so with that, subscribe and hit the like if you haven't done so. Sandisk also gave you this bottom, precisely bounced off of there. All right, Sandisk has its earnings today. Now, no one knows what's going to happen through the earnings. However you are positioned, just make sure this thing can crash, can go up as well. Accordingly, based on your risk tolerance, either size down your position, or if you are super fearless, you are like, you don't care about if it goes down, you don't care about the loss, yeah, go all in the, well, not go all in, but hold your position through the earnings. But that decision is yours. All right, no one knows what's going to happen through the earnings. I always suggest, if you are not sure or you are not comfortable with that drawdown or volatility in the price action, then size down in a way that if price goes down, or even get out and let the earnings happen and then re-enter, or just do it in a way that you can tolerate. Okay, because no one knows what's going to happen through the earnings in the price action here. But until then and thereafter, let's talk about the scenarios. At least for now, yes, we are in a bottom formation here from 1130 continuing up. Sandisk right now is in the bullish strength for us. It's in the bullish structure for us. Okay, now let's talk about what price action may do through the earnings. I only see problem, which I don't think would last for long enough as well, but only that will happen if we lose 1130. If I see Sandisk lose 1130, then only I consider there is a little bit more trouble for days to come. If we anywhere hold above 1130 and 1300 area zone here or above, we'll still be fine on Sandisk, and definitely if it gaps up, that's awesome, right? So anyhow, right now all good on Sandisk as well. Let's get to the hourly interval, and so far so good. Above 1300 area, I really don't see any problem on Sandisk, and that could be a risk management zone. So anyhow, things are looking just fine, and yeah, from here it's just that, you know, just risk managed, right? So all right, let's move on to SK Hynix now. So SK Hynix also just doing fine, guys. Okay, now before we take a look at the US SK Hynix, let's take a quick peek at our Korean side of SK Hynix. Okay, now this is where this thing is still fine technically. Yes, we are a little bit, you know, still in that zone of rejection, but most likely this is the bottom. It's a formation, still a part of a bottom formation on SK Hynix there. And looking at over here, SK Hynix, we are doing just fine right now. We are holding the zone of importance, bounced off of the zone that I gave you, and as we stay above 150 and so forth, I'm not too worried on SK Hynix right now. Look, if can Sandisk earning affect them all? Yes, it can, but that's the name of the game, right? So SK Hynix may still do pullbacks if it wants to, but I just don't see that we will make new lows from 125 from where we have already come. If it does, yes, the risk management is there for a reason, but where are the higher probabilities right now that are to the upside? Like while I'm talking about SK Hynix there, I'll show you Kospi as well real quick. Kospi is already confirmed its bottom, moving on to the upside already. As you can see, this was the price action yesterday, looking all good. Samsung also already forming a bottom as well, continuing up, pushing through slowly and slowly. Yes, these can still do pullbacks, but right now things will be fine unless I see a breakage. If I do, I'll tell you about that. Seagate. So Seagate, guys, nothing changes as per my last statement, and what I said is that we have a bottom on this thing, and if it doesn't go up, I see it going sideways, and that's pretty much what it's doing. But your higher probabilities are still either sideways or to the upside. So we are technically not in the decline. All right, so Seagate is safe, right? Let's get to Nvidia. Now Nvidia, this was the zone. 204 above will get again back in full overall strength. Until then it was a multi-day rebound from 195 to 204, and as you can see, once we pushed above 204, overall strength has been still continuing, and this very zone now, that is 213 area, becomes your ongoing support zone because it's the recent significant level that we have gained. Any pullback until here is fine, and at this point I think Nvidia has done enough choppiness and enough, you know, price action that any pullback until 204 will be fine. But I always suggest in the extension, if you want to take partial profits, if definitely it's a trade position, in the extensions you gotta take partial profits. And then as if you lose some levels on the intraday, then start to partially size down as well. Or well, that's another sign that multi-day weakness is beginning. That's what I'm trying to say. AMD. AMD has had its earnings yesterday. Came out great. Okay, nothing to really worry about. But price action is price action. That's why I say no one knows what's going to happen through the earnings, and everything could be great. Forward-looking guidance could be great. Price may still fall. All right. Now AMD definitely was in quite an extension, and I sometimes question when people look. We were our one, like, go, let's go back to 2025. AMD was in a collapse, and I gave my members to buy here. Bottom, we picked the bottom. No one was talking about AMD to be bought. No one was telling you to buy AMD back then. Only I was telling you on my membership. And AMD gave us awesome gains. This was our next run up from here. I still have drawings there since that time when I tell my members. Now, I find it hilarious when now people tell you, oh, AMD is a great buy. Look, it's a great company, but is it a great buy after, like, when no one, like after 700% gains, like since the time of first initial call on AMD. Now, and that's always what is hilarious, is that this stuff just never ends. You will always find people telling you that it's the next big thing when it's already at a next big zone, right? Already run up, and then the question, oh, why is it going down? Similar things would happen with Micron. Up here, everyone is telling you to buy. Sandisk, everyone is telling you to buy up here. I wasn't telling you, I was telling you to short or sell, right? When the price was breaking and showing that, okay, top is there. And when things are bottoming, I'm telling you, yeah, they're bottoming, right? So the point being, AMD was extended quite a lot, but also price action, what it told us that, hey, I want to break below $500. Now, yes, it broke $500, but is it like a short, long-term short? No. With these big companies, you can short for a day or multi-day, but if you think like it's gonna short until eternity, like for a year, few months, no, you're gonna be in pain. You're gonna questioning yourself every night. It's not good for mental health. All right, so let's get to the hourly interval, and this is something I also mentioned to my members only videos yesterday, that anything until 500 will still keep us in the negative side. That's a strong resistance. You can see it rejected right over there again today. So look, you cannot look strength until we break out above 500. You cannot really trade it to the short much to the downside because it's a very strong company. The point is that it's going to stay sticky. Your capital may be locked and you may not get much out of it. It may not do much for you. It may not give you declines, but it may also not give you much upside. Something really has to come out for AMD at this point. Like either traders needs to snap or something has to come out for it to make a new highs at this point. Price action in itself is not in an upside momentum, and that's why new upside right now is tough to talk about. Only above 500 that will develop. But earnings was the thing we were watching, like what price action would do after the earnings, and unfortunately it's deciding to stay in the momentum-less state. All right, so anyhow, that's where AMD is, guys. Okay, let's get to ARM. ARM has most likely a bottom here, as I have been telling you. Pullbacks most likely will be bought up, either it's just gonna go sideways or up. Downside is limited on ARM. Okay, so this is most likely the bottom here. Intel a little bit struggling at $100, but that's the zone you are watching, as if it can start to gain strength above it. It has a room to continue to push up. I won't put big chips on this thing, but it has a room to do it if it can push above $100, but that range will be still limited. Let's take a look at TSM while we are on Intel. TSM also, I have told you previously that we do have most likely the bottom, but mostly it may do the sideways action, which I still expect it to do, but right now inclination to the downside are not there. The point is that many of these chip stocks are getting to the point where they have matured enough. They have caught up with their valuations. They have caught up with the market sentiment. And that doesn't mean they're going to fall, but that means they're going to become sticky here. They're going to mostly go sideways and churn, and so things like that. All right. Because at this point, sellers would like to sell, take profits. Buyers would think like, oh, it's a buying opportunity. But then since valuation is up to the mark, or, traders there's just not much extensions that going to come, because price action cannot just move unlimited. Okay, like it cannot just keep, if it's in an uptrend, just can't keep going up forever. That's why you have these breakages of the structure. Price market reevaluates itself. and traders also amplify that based off of those price action. So anyhow, it's look, I'm not in TSM. I don't like this stock personally. It's a very slow mover and very noisy. I don't have that much. I'm a patient guy, but I don't have that much of patience to lock in my money on a stock like TSM. Anyways, it's more for like if you want to invest and forget for 20-30 years. I just don't trade like that. I don't know where in 30 years what the stock market would be doing, what would be the thing. No one knows, right? None of this may exist. No, I'm just kidding, but I mean, there's a lot of vested interest in these things, so all these things we do, so I don't think society will let it collapse. But the point is that I can't foresee that further out. Okay, I can't foresee like S&P 500 just dollar cost average. I can't foresee for the next 30 years. Come on, who knows what would happen? It's all in the hindsight what people tell you today. Oh, S&P 500 has returned this much amount over the last 30 years. But that doesn't mean it's going to keep returning you that in the next 30 years. It's all hindsight. So you have to pivot. You have to prepare yourself for the market in the horizon that you are comfortable with. Okay. So anyways, let's move on to Broadcom. So Broadcom, at this point, any pullback will be just fine. This was a critical break of the zone out of the consolidation. 405, 404 above, technically above that, strength will prevail on Broadcom. So yeah, it's gonna again mature stock. So yeah, but it's in the bullish side. You cannot short these things. Marvel, as I have told you previously, we have a bottom most likely here, and we pushed up, straight up, a little bit rejecting at that zone, but most likely pullbacks will be mostly they will stabilize. We may, but the point is that pullbacks will be fine. Okay, so that's the thing. This is the zone that I gave you. Above that we are fine. Cerebrus, yeah, it doesn't move here much, but 160 above we are fine. That's the whole point. Don't forget to check out my DRAM portfolio, guys. Market can move in either direction, and we are still making money on DRAM. At one point, DRAM stock price was $8 down, but our portfolio was in profit, and it is still in profit. You can check out the numbers on my Patreon. Just follow the link in the description of this video. I just posted yesterday in that very post our performance in just less than 2 weeks, how much profit we are in. Check that out. Details are in the description of this video. That's all I had for you in this video, guys. And with that, I'll see you in my next videos. Take care. Bye.